Hi guys, and welcome for joining me for this video. This is a new segment I'm doing on my channel. Quite a new feature. I've been wanting to do it for a little while. It's been a concept I've been looking at doing. I've really wanted to get this done, but it's just been a struggle to find the material that I thought was good to chuck out there and to start this off with. And I was flicking through the forums a while back. I saw these, and I was flicking through the forums and I spotted these stories. Found some stories put up there, fan creation, that had been written, and the quality of them was just brilliant. I really enjoyed reading them. And he's actually got a Tumblr. They've got a Tumblr, I should say. They've got a Tumblr, and they post stories up to it. So some of you may have already read these or seen them on the forums and had a flick through. If you have, then please share this video and get more people involved in these stories, because they are really something. I've really enjoyed reading them. So we're going to start our feature off with these. So a new feature, as you've probably seen from the video title, is Storytime. So we're going to do a Storytime, hopefully every now and again. I'd like to do it every other week, but it depends whether we get the stuff in to do it with, whether we get some stories sent to us, anything like that we can then read out. It doesn't have to be fictional. I'd like non-fiction, fiction, anything like that. It can be a little bio of what you've been doing with your raid. It can be a story you've come up with, anything at all. It'd be fantastic to get these off of you. You can find my email address to send them to in my descriptions. Comment, send me a message on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. If you want to send me a story, I can always send you my email address and everything to send it to for that. But it is TheIndeyExperiment@gmail.com. It's nice and simple. Send those to me, and you may get your stories read out, same as I'm doing for SlappedYak off of the forums. Now he's got a couple of stories. They've got a couple of stories. I keep doing that. They've got a couple of stories up about their Esper. So they've got an Esper, Exile Esper, yes, go for the Exiles, called, now I think I'm saying this right, Yakalin Winchley. That's their Esper's name. I hope I'm saying that right. And I'm going to read out the first one of the stories from their Tumblr, which is called Nexus Rising. Now I really like this one. This one's very clever, and we'll just have to see whether I can read it out with enough sort of, I don't know, give the story some merit with my terrible reading out skills. So I always had fun doing this in English, so we'll see whether I've still got it and I can still sort of sit here and read it out. You will have to forgive me, because I am reading this off of my screen, so I'm trying to look at three things at once, which isn't very helpful. I would usually print it out, but my printer is sat in a heap, pretty much kicked in because I had an argument with it. So, well, without me going off on a tangent, let's start off with this story. So, Nexus Rising. Okay, so this is Nexus Rising, a short story from SlappedYak on the forums. The roof of the barn had a hole in it. Not a hole from being badly built or mussed up by some passing tornado, you understand? No, this hole was purposeful. Kaylin built the roof that way, so that when she lay down in her hover bunk at night, she could look straight up and see the moon. The ranch got cold once the sun went down. She shivered lightly and reached out for the moth-eaten, dagger-eared woolen hat by her bedside and pulled it on, tightening the toggles all snug-like under her chin. The cicadas had fallen asleep. The twilight insects were out now, their voices mingling with the gentle cooing of the sleeping roustaour dotted liberally all over the farm. A rusty sign squeaked as the breath of evening lifted the day's heat from the ground, dew beginning to settle, reflecting the brilliance of the cloudless night sky. The willowy Esper sighed and folded her hands behind her head. She remembered her first deployment to Farside, the moon she was now looking up at. As her mind wandered back to recall those fateful events, she spoke out loud, to no one in particular. She had a habit of doing that. I guess I never thought about how beautiful Nexus was until that day. I mean, I knew we was going there, that Nexus was meant to be our home. The Ark ship chroniclers were always spouting off on that. Nexus is our homeland. Glory to Seric Brightland. We is making their place our new home. Dommies ain't never gonna get it. Yada yada yada. I don't look down on those folks though. Everyone needs something to believe in. Especially when you've been lost in the stars for as long as they had. I just never saw it like some grand design. More like something that was just happening. and none of us had a choice about it. That's where the gambler's ruin was headed. I spent all my life on that ship. Never saw any stars except the day I left in that hunk of junk transport to Thade, when I looked out the porthole window and saw it hanging there like a drop of blood, the red planet Pyre, and a battered old hunk of rock next to it. That hunk of rock was Farside. Operation Moonshot they called it, and Durek himself was leading the op. Something about a war with some fishmen and a supergun. Honestly, I didn't pay much attention to the specifics. I just wanted to go exploring. I got the job through a sergeant friend of mine, who still got close ties with FCON, and said they could use scouts and explorers to help out with the troop movements and all that. The pay was lousy, but I'd have done it for free. What self-respecting explorer would pass up a chance to go to space? I mean, sure, if you want to get all technical like, we all spent decades in space, but t'ain't the same seeing the stars from inside a tuna can anyways. I scraped together the last of my coin, bought myself airtight gear, reconfigured my jetpack sensitivities, on account of if you don't figure the gravity change in your equations, you're liable to launch your sorry tuckus into space, and grabbed the hoverboard I salvaged from some Elden Tech lab a while back. Never felt much need to use it till then, but they wouldn't let me take Atlas, the darn spoil sports. I mean, he could have had a helmet. Pfft, bureaucrats. And rolled right up for deployment. The job had me climbing up some rickety old Elden com tower, twisted and turned. Most of the pipework was just hanging there, all floating like. It was dark, no sunlight to speak of, just hololamps and neon flashlights. So I don't mind saying it was a rare kind of terrifying trying to climb that gorham thing in the dark. But once I got used to the gravity and treated it like any other climb job, I got there just fine. I set up the techno link, planted the relay dish, and was just anchoring the beam tether for the jump down when I realised there was a light coming up behind me. I turned round thinking it was some kind of headlight, but it wasn't. It was Nexus, rising up out of the darkness, bringing light with it as it peaked above the horizon. The asteroid field caught the rays and split them into crushed diamonds, giving the planet her crown. And I saw it. Nexus. It looked truly beautiful, in a way I can't quite describe. I ain't no poet, I don't do fancy with my words. It looked tiny and fragile, hanging there like a bilberry stuck in a black tarpaul. And yeah, I guess for the first time I saw it, a home. Okay, and there we go guys. So that is the first of the stories by SlappedYak off of the forums. He's got a few others on his Tumblr post. I'll put the link in the description for this video. Please go and check them out. They really are something. I'm hoping to read out a couple more of them. And he's going to keep me posted of any more that he writes so that we can keep doing this, because this is really good fun. I enjoyed reading that out. I'm sure my reading skills were terrible, and I'm not sure if I did the story justice or not, but I tried my best. It's been a long time since I've done any reading out loud and public speaking, as much as I like to read an awful lot. I'm hoping this is something different that I've not seen on YouTube or anything. I haven't seen many people doing this, so I really hope this is something new. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I really hope to keep doing it. So as I said earlier, if you can, please get your stories into me. Any fan creations, whether it's a little bio of what your raid's been up to, whether you are writing little short stories like this, even if you're writing longer stories, I don't mind sitting down and doing a longer story, or doing almost podcasts, a couple episodes on one story if you want to write something a little bit longer, and we can slowly work through it, and we can do almost an audio book of that if you'd like. So please do get involved. This is really good fun to do, and I hope to do a couple more of these. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.